Alright, here we go. This is a custom 3v3 on Rath between the Carbon team in the upper left, BlastToBits in the Easter Osprey, fistnow in the Medic Osprey, and Lethalpoison in the Deep Sea Osprey. It's a triple Osprey team versus the blue team in the bottom right, ChromeHD in the classic Saucer ULA, in the Steampunk Helix, and happydeath in the classic Bomber. So 3 Ospreys versus 3 not the same at all. So it's going to be a little bit interesting to see. Let's see if the 3 Ospreys can actually turn this into a, 3 times amplified, a single mech kind of purpose. I'm not really sure if they can actually achieve that, but we will see. It does look like they are going for the bottom island first, which is pretty natural for the left team. The right team typically does take the top right corner, so pretty standard openings by both teams. I think I did see a Moneymaker and a Lunchbox on, okay, yeah, Lunchbox and Moneymakers for both teams on both boards. However, the Carbon team has overhealed a lot of theirs, so it does have that overheal shield, which does give you 1 hit's worth of defense, regardless of what's actually hitting you. Whether it be a goalie or a zipper, you still get completely protected from a single hit, which is a very interesting mechanic that hasn't actually been incorporated that much into the game, which I would like to see a little bit more, but hasn't. So let's see if that actually does get incorporated into the Osprey's ultimate ability, which I think it was something that was mentioned by someone earlier. Don't remember exactly who. Forums, right? But the Carbon team have been able to take their close. The blue team have been able to take their close. The corner's going to both players as well, or to both teams. When does this middle box spawn on Rath? I'm not 100% sure, but I would assume it's sometime soon because, okay, oh, there we go. It does spawn at about a minute, a little bit after a minute, and Lethalpoison has been able to grab it. So the happydeath does a pass over and does see that it is gone. Either that or he... it depends on if he's 100% sure when the box actually spawns, but the Carbon team does grab it. A couple of random flamers dropped them. I'm guessing there was going to be a cheese attempt, but someone got caught in between, so not going to be actually used at all. Those flamers will die pretty quickly. A little bit of defense is going down on that left outpost, or on that right outpost, excuse me. ULA trying to kill Moneymaker, but a lot of Ospreys here to guard, so definitely will not be able to kill anything with 3 Ospreys protecting whatever you're trying to kill. And you're all alone without any unit support. Definitely something I can pretty much definitively say will not happen. But now the blue team scouting around, the Carbon team approaching that upper right-hand corner with quite a lot of tanks and seekers. Let's see if the blue team's actually able to stop this in some manner. Whether or not they're actually going to leapfrog the entire way. I mean, they're Ospreys, so I would assume they would some way. Oh, and they are actually moving out. No artillery, which is a little funny. So I guess that is kind of a tell to the blue team that they weren't really actually planning on doing a complete leapfrog. Oh, but waypoints have split up the tanks, and so only, oh man, not even that many are going for that top corner. Oh, they set them on attack. So they're going completely past this. They might go for this outpost man. Will they be able to switch into T when they get there? Oh no, they have been, okay, they were all switched to T and they are all splitting up like crazy because of waypoints. So a couple of them are going to be stopped here at the top because the blue team definitely has enough unit support to defend against that. And now the blue team coming to support this bottom outpost as well. happydeath bombing down, enough unit support on the ground to be able to stop that. And the Carbon team BlastToBits trying to get this outpost neutralized with flamers, which is definitely the way to go in terms of neutralization. And fistnow with a couple flamers down here as well, trying to keep them all healed up so they will get that neutralization, and it probably will work eventually. Let's see if any of the blue team comes to respond. Both of the other players on the Carbon team have been finished off. They were able to neutralize this very briefly, but how important that, or how impactful that is, it's not really going to be that much at all. So it does look like the blue team has been able to retake that right outpost. Already have creep bunkered. So, yeah, not that effective. Okay, we do have a flyby by fistnow. Does see that the front door area is completely open, and the blue team now doing a scout on that bottom left corner. Will anybody actually start to mount an attack? The numbers of units for each team, I mean, no team really has a good concentration of units to actually move out at this point. The Carbon team pretty much threw away all their concentrated units in that last push, and the blue team pretty much used up all their units defending against it. So now we are kind of reset at a strange point. Now the Carbon team going to start working on the bottom instead of the top. It's sort of understandable. One of the typical approaches on Thar, I can definitely say. Rath is slightly different, but I guess you can kind of think of it the same way. If you have that bottom left island. Oh, and happydeath able to snipe a Moneymaker. A little bit crazy to see. And going for even more harass now. Lethalpoison, let's see who has the Moneymakers. BlastToBits has the Moneymakers. I'm assuming he is not aware that one of them have been killed, but happydeath able to kill another Moneymaker. Left completely unresponded to until just now, and does get chased away by Lethalpoison, but the damage has been done. He has been able to kill a Moneymaker, and another one was sniped earlier, as you saw. And just scouting going around. Definitely on large maps, you do see a lot of flying around, just so, you know, each player on each team can kind of assess the situation on the map, as most teams don't really do voice chat, especially in random custom games. Or I guess this isn't really random custom games, guys. This is all anger. Oh, and the blue team, I think happydeath did scout that front door and did notice that it is completely empty. Oh, and we have a double send here. So the blue team sending these tanks on Y for sure, because they would be going this way if they were set on T. But now the Carbon team is setting them their tanks on Y as well, I think. Either that or T, and they're going for this one down here. But the blue team has a pretty long line of tanks. Let's see how the Carbon team actually deals with this. I would assume bombs is the normal response. Lethalpoison does do that and does drop bombs. So where's the Carbon team actually going? They are getting bombed down by, well, I think happydeath was doing that a little earlier, but now ULA concentrating on supporting this push coming up, but they need to concentrate on defending this, and this is actually set on, yeah, this is set on attack. So double all in for the most part by both teams, because the majority of both the team's units were in these two respective tank lines. So let's see if the Carbon team can actually mount the defense. Lots of boxers to absorb a lot of damage, and Brutes and Gemini going down. Now this tank cluster here has been very, very thinned out by that Carbon team. Oh, and by that blue team, and a couple of heavy mines getting dropped down, so it's not going to be that, they are not going to, oh, actually they stopped right about here. Yeah, that is a recent change I just did actually learn about from a fellow faction mate, Spectrum Z, shout out, giving me that information that tanks stop, or not tanks, but pretty much every unit, I think, when you set them on attack, they stop a little bit further from the fort than they usually do, and I think outposts as well, so a little bit interesting of an AI change. The one large factor that actually does influence, I had to actually ask about that. I was like, what did you notice about that change? It's not really seem that significant, but yeah, you can really consider that when the units that you have sent get to the outpost or fort that you're sending to, let's just say you're sending to a fort, you have to ferry them further to get a better surround. So yeah, definitely something you need to take into consideration. But the Carbon team now doing a pretty large push past mid, and lots of these tanks are going past mid as well. I'm not really sure where they're planning on going with this, and it does allow the blue team a lot of time to react to it and thin out their units and actually kill quite a lot of them on their way wherever the hell they are going. I'm pretty sure they're all set on attack. It would seem that way. Well, they're actually splitting, so maybe they're all set on random capture and they're going random places, but now they have been thinned out dramatically. On the right outpost is pretty much no more units coming toward it, and the bottom outpost has well, it's been responded to very, very well. Definitely enough defense here by the blue team, so the Carbon team has pretty much thrown away all of their units, which is a little crazy, because they were able to successfully mount that defense at their fort, and they just sent all of them on capture, which splits them all up, which is probably not what you want to do, especially on Rath. You might want to just set everything on attack, mass hold position, start to ferry, something like that, which might be a little bit more productive than, well, mass T split up. And they have to travel very far, especially in a 3v3, where you have 3 mechs to respond and do a lot of damage, but the Carbon team has been able to take this outpost and pretty well surrounded. It does look like they are going to be able to hold it for a pretty long time. Already have bunkered flamers, so yeah, the blue team has lost their foothold on that outpost pretty quickly, actually. I'm sorry I was ranting instead of calling the action, but yeah, that's something that you might want to consider if you are on a map like Rath or Thar, where yeah, the direct T-pad, especially because of waypoints. Not great. Not great for sure, but the Carbon team not able to really do that productive an attack on this outpost. Yes, they have been able to neutralize it, and yes, it will delay the blue team's income for a little while, but it's still really, really, really well surrounded by blue units. Did this spawn again? I'm pretty sure it did. I think it's 5 minutes after. Oh, but the Carbon team has pretty much lost this to pretty much 2 Gemini that were dropped over here. Let's see if the blue team doesn't really have that much support here. Well, ULA and happydeath are here, but the Carbon team has been able to grab it back under control, so now the Carbon team definitely has the map advantage, 57 to 69. Blue team has the unit advantage. Where the hell are all their units? I guess they're all sitting here and sitting here and sitting here for the most part. The Carbon team's units are all of this island. Nothing really defending this left outpost. Nothing really defending that top outpost besides boxers, which is not really that amazing. They do draw fire from enemy units, but I mean, obviously, if you're going to drop a lot of strong units that do a lot of DPS, or not that do a lot of DPS, but that have a lot of health, they are not going to die very quickly at all. So I don't know if that's the most productive use of your upkeep. But now we do have ULA trying to finish off something. I don't know if there were anything socketed here. BlastToBits really needs... Okay, he does start to rebuild those moneymakers. And now the blue team still scouting around. Not really able to poke and prod too much. This top outpost is still pretty... Okay, lots of tanks now coming out. I would guess that those are set on capture, and maybe happydeath. Is he setting those on follow? So no, he's just setting them on whatever command. Oh, and these have been sent from the bottom as well. So these will be able to neutralize this outpost. Will the Carbon team to be able to defend against this? It will go down to neutral. And 2 blue mechs here. It does look like the blue team... Oh, 3 blue mechs. Looks like the blue team's going to be able to take this left outpost. So now the map split has changed just a little bit. And, oh no, the Carbon team... Well, the Carbon team grabs back under the control, but will they be able to drop out enough tanks before it gets neutralized? And looks like no. Well, okay, looks like yes, but will the blue team be able to bring enough reinforcements? And will this tank push do the job? This is actually a really, really great distraction. The Carbon team is definitely panicking on here. Oh my god, happydeath was able to get a lot of fixers. Well, okay, well now, oh, actually those are sergeants. Wow, why did it look like fixers? But now fistnow trying to respond to this tank push here, going for this outpost, and it does look like it will be completely neutralized and surrounded by those blue Gemini. And a blue Gemini are dropped over here as well because they were able to grab the outpost and hold it. They were able to drop a lot of tanks in defense, and the Carbon team has lost both of their close outposts. So, man, they better work those corners like crazy. However, there's nothing socketed, no moneymakers, no generators, no nothing. Man, what are the abilities up at right now? Pretty standard looking. I can't really notice anything too much right now. Got to keep my eye on the game, but the Carbon team has lost, once again, has lost both their close outposts. Will they try to get... Yeah, BlastToBits has a lot of... what does he have in queue? Not much, so even if he was able to take that outpost back with Flamers, what would it have done? Before it got neutralized, he would have been able to dump out maybe 2 tanks, and that would not have been that productive. And, wow, already a lot of infantry sergeants dropped by. It does look like that was ChromeHD. Either way. Oh, and BlastToBits trying to do a cheese, or, you know, a last-minute infantry drop and post-grab. But, oh, now the Carbon team has a lot of units over here. Oh, they're pushing back for that left outpost. However, they might lose this outpost to happydeath's neutralization here. And ULA is here to respond, so his micro will probably be able to handle this tank push pretty well. And the blue team, oh, man, shooters dropped at this top outpost. Wow, great play by the blue team. Both anger on both sides. happydeath did say this, I think it was sarcastically, but it was an anger secret training session or something like that. But yeah, now the Carbon team's tank push has been completely shut down. They didn't really allow for them to do the work that they needed to, with no distractions really by their team. But the blue team definitely beautiful tank push that they did earlier at the top. And a lot of drops on that left outpost, so, you know, great distractions. Definitely textbook AirMech, or at least textbook solid AirMech play. And now the Carbon team still holding on to this bottom outpost, but one infantry has been knocked down to the bulbs. Oh, and ULA with a tank drop over here. Lots of damage going down, actually. Wow, actually, these Gemini have been working for quite a while. ULA getting a lot of damage on, and now finally being responded to by that Carbon team. And now the blue team has been able to take the top right outpost, so they are getting complete map control. It's just this bottom left outpost that's left, and eventually will be taken. It does look like, as they have a lot of tanks over there, so the neutralization is imminent. And BlastToBits trying to do something, will get it neutralized, but he's going to go down. The rest of his units are going to go down as well. And yeah, now a large tank push to be defended by that Carbon team. Lots of health already killed, but Lethalpoison with a lot of bombs. Definitely the bombs are the way to go, for sure. However effective they may or may not be at this point, you know, they are pretty much the typical response to these, you know, to these unit pushes. Defensive bombs, gotta love them, gotta hate them. Love them or hate them. But now the Carbon team has lost this bottom left outpost, so they are going to be dominated sometime soon. Where is that domination timer? Didn't pop up. I'm not really sure why. Maybe Rath doesn't actually use that mechanic for some reason. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, I am actually doing a follow on the Carbon team, as you can see. Now the blue team has lost this left outpost, well, I mean, to a neutralization. Oh, and a moderate tank push here, but it's probably not going to be that that effective overall. The Carbon team might cause a little bit of trouble for this blue team. Oh, but now a counter tank push. Counter's not the right word, but now a coincidental timing other tank push by the blue team is coming. So these units have actually strayed. Gotta love the T-pathing as well, definitely. So, yeah, the blue team retaking this left outpost, so it's just a matter of time before they are actually able to get the finish. They have such little, the Carbon team has such little health left, and actually this might actually be able to do it. Lots of blue tanks coming for that Carbon fort, and what defense is going down? What scouting has gone down by the Carbon team? Pretty much nothing, as fistnow is the only one alive left, and the blue team does look like they are going to be able to get this finish sometime soon. ULA getting a little bit of surround and firing in with his own rockets, hitting creeps, not really that productive, but this is going to be it. The blue team, ChromeHD, ULA, and happydeath taking this custom 3v3 on Rath over their fellow faction mates BlastToBits, fistnow, and Lethalpoison, is definitely something that I recommend if you are in a faction to get as much practice with your faction mates as possible. You know, especially the ones that are you know, more united, more together, definitely have a lot of high skill players. If you are a lower level player in one of those factions, you definitely can learn from guys like this: BlastToBits, fistnow, Lethalpoison, ChromeHD ULA, and happydeath. Yes, I just named them all for some weird ass reason. Didn't really, but yeah, play as much as you possibly can. You will definitely learn a lot. Ask them questions, even ask in global chat. You know, and think as you watch your replays. You'll definitely gain quite a lot from being in a faction. So, yeah, once again, blue team does take it. I thought the Carbon team was going to have that game after taking both corners. You know, the bottom left was theirs, but then they were able to take that upper right from the blue team. But they pushed out all their units from the fort and just pretty much threw them all away. And that pretty much threw their lead away and threw the game away for them for the most part. And after that, blue team able to take both the Carbon closes with that great large tank push on the upper side, all those tank drops on the left side, and that was able to do the job, and able to eventually take the full map control. And great job by ChromeHD, ULA, and happydeath. So guys, if you play any games with your faction mates, make sure to send them in to me if you think the rest of the AirMech community might want to see them as well. Alright guys, this is RUI, and that is game. See you next time.